I just finished my testing of a GT823KH, and this is my feedback. In the last days, I've made a very long testing of the Goldentyre GT823KH. I use for this testing the Honda CRF Africa Twin 1000. And because I will see how the tires work in all conditions. Because under my point of view, this model is really an all-around tire. So it's not simple. One of the many on-off tires for this type of motorcycle. We have been in Rocky Mountains, we was also in the desert, we was on the beach, we was on the highway, everywhere. We tested the tires for over 2,000 kilometers, so a very long journey. We was really all around Emirates. But I was really curious to see how the tires work in off-road, and especially in some complicated situation. We was in Ras Al Khaima, where there are amazing mountains, and in a very special place. We was in some really tricky, complicated, and quite extreme situation, where I enjoy a lot the tires because they are amazing in really off-road and deep extreme situation, because the mountain here are really hard, rocky, and the uphill as for the downhill are really extreme. So basically, what we need for this kind of motorcycle to ride in that situations, we need grip. We need the feeling of safety that you need when you have a motorcycle that it's over 200 kilos and you have to brake in a downhill. So this is what I found in the Goldentyre GT823KH, because even when you ride so in the stones, you don't lose in any moment the control. You have in any moment the feeling that everything is under control. Also, when you need, to open a little the wide to jump out from a situation, or when you find some stone that you have to jump over there, because the bike basically it's heavy, and so the space also is not so much, so you cannot stop to not touch the frame, so you have to jump a little, so you have the maximum control. And this happened thanks the special design of the knobs of the tire that help a lot to bite the ground. And this is really helpful also when you ride in the desert, in the sand. The big risk when you ride in the desert is to remain stuck in the sand. And obviously, with this kind of motorcycle, in this situation, you cannot ride everywhere in the deep sand because the bike is heavy. But you can enjoy a lot in desert track. And even you find some piece of fresh that it's a nightmare for the riding, you can ride through without any big trouble, and you don't have never the feeling that you can remain blocked there. The pressure of the tire. I use a 1.6 bar in the front and 1.8 in the back. But when I was in the mountain, I try also as a different solution and as a different setup. So I felt really comfortable with the 1.6 on the real in off-road, because it gives me an extra grip. Because the rear tire, it's a radial one, and as you know probably, radial tire, it's amazing on the road because it's have a little more softer sidewall, but it remains the shape, it's a little more stiff. So it sometimes don't give the maximum grip. So with a little low pressure, I enjoy a lot because my traction, my feeling of traction, it becomes really much more higher. And if we speak about the front tire, we can say that it's not radial tire, and I agree 100% with the Honda choice in this case, because this type of tire donate much more confidence in the front wheel, especially when you ride in the deep downhill and you are arriving in the cornering, and you have, you know, with this weight, you arrive, you brake, you have in any case a feeling that everything is not under control, and the feeling that you lost the front with this kind of bike. If you lost it, you fell down for sure. Anyway, this tire, this is the point. When you arrive in the downhill, you have in any moment, in any moment, the feeling of the front wheel in my hand. Because when you use the brake, you never have bad feeling like losing control on the front wheel. The only part that I was a little worried, frankly speaking, it was to ride these tires on the asphalt, because basically are 50-50% on-off tires, and I would be understand, and I was really curious to understand how on the asphalt works. And here I remain extremely surprised, because also on asphalt, yeah, for sure, we are speaking of a bike that it's not a super bike. So there is also a limit of the motorcycle with long suspension, soft suspension. So this type of tire give a lot of confidence also in the roundabout, for example, that it's a very critical moment with this type of motorcycle. So when you enter in the roundabout, you don't never have the feeling when you move from right to left or left to right to, you know, this feeling that it's everything moving. It's really, this comes from the radial tire on the back, because push in the right way. And honestly, especially here in the Emirates, when you ride on the road, you find some sand on the road, and having this type of tire can be really helpful and give you much more confidence. Because, for example, if you use 100% on road tire, when you find some sand or dirty on the road, it's a nightmare. This gives you the chance to be more safe. This is what I felt. So more safe in riding. If I want to speak something that I expect, but you can find it, it's when you ride on asphalt. When you reach 100 km/h, there is a little more of noisy that comes from the knobs, but this is common to all the tires with knobs. But if you ride a little faster or slowly, disappears this noise like a miracle. What about you? Have you tried them? Let me know here in the comment your feedbacks. Hasta luego, compañeros.